Hey guys, this is my 1995 240SX. So I am going to attempt to paint my bumpers, front, back and the lip. It has a lot of scratches. I don't think it's ever been painted before by the previous owners, and this is how it looks. And the front lip down there hasn't been painted at all. So going to the back, this is how the rear bumper looks like. There are scratches at the edges. There's no paint at all on the top. It's bare plastic, as you can see. Scratches at the edges, and there are 3 big stripes, and there is I think something hit it, or it backed into something. So this is what I'm gonna paint.
So this is the kit. It comes with a 80 grit, one what is that? Yeah, 180 grit, and then 320 grit. Sandpapers, 2 of each. A bundle bumper filler, hardener, adhesion promoter, and then a mesh if there's a hole. I don't have any holes, so I won't be using that. But that's what the kit comes with. I already started sanding with the 80 grit. As you can see, this is really old. There's a hit over there, it went in, so I heated it up and then pushed it back. There are 3 major scrapes. There's another hit, and I sanded all the ones that were on the side, on the edges. So according to the instruction on the kit, it says I need to sand it with 80 grit first, and then I'll have to go through all the same spots with a 180 and then 320 before I put in the mix of the filler and the hardener. Okay, so this is after I sanded it with my 180 grit paper. So what I did was I cut a little piece of the sandpaper, put it on a Scotch foam that I had. It is used so when you dry it, it turns out stiff, right? So that's what I used right here. It has a dent over here, and I don't think I'll be able to make it perfect. Another one is right here. There's a dent. I think I can heat it up and roll it back a little bit, but it won't be perfect. I have 3 bumpers to go through. This is one, this is the rear, this is the front, and I have a lip that I tried sealing with the foam. It didn't come out well, but this one doesn't have any dents or anything because it's newer. It's not new, I've used it for a year. But I am just going to sand it with the 320 in the end, just to prepare for the primer and paint. Oh, and the kit also comes with a mixer. I forgot to mention it earlier. I'm going to do 80 grit sanding on all the dents, 180 on the same spots, and maybe some lighter dents or just like paint chips. And then a 320 all over the bumper for all these 3. So I applied the bundle on this one, other one, now I gotta sand it with again the 80, 180 and 220 grits. So I'm gonna do 80 and 180 on the bundles, and I'm gonna do the 320 everywhere. so that the paint and primer would stick to it. So I messed up putting in Bondo, or the filler. This one came out good. It was hard enough, and then I was able to sand it, but around here, right here and right there, and all over the other bumper, like these are all sticky. These are all sticky. It's been 3 or 4 days, but it hasn't dried. These are all sticky, so I cannot sand it. And these are all sticky. You can hear the noise. I didn't see any videos online, but what I did was I bought acetone from Home Depot, and what I'm doing is I'm taking a cloth, I tear it in strips, pour some acetone on it and rub really hard on these spots, and then take the sticky ones out. I already did this one, so the sticky ones came out, the hard ones are still there, so which is fine, because I'll still be able to put filler on top of it and then sand it down. So that's the plan. So that's what I'm trying to do. Well, it works, but it takes a lot of time. And then the reason I have these plastic bags on my hand is because the latex gloves, they dissolve if you get acetone on your gloves, so it dissolves, so it's no use. So that's why I have a plastic bag, and I hold the cloth with this, pour some on it, and then rub it. Okay, so this is what it looks like now. All the filler and Bondo that was here, it's all gone. This is what the rag looks like now. It's all filled with fillers, and I cannot use it anymore because it's so smooth now that even if I try to scrape, let's say if I work on this area next, it is not going to absorb any more fillers in it. What happened was initially I used the Bondo bumper repair kit, which has two packs, separate packs of filler and Bondo, and it is a 1:1 ratio mix. So when I did the first patches, I did do 1:1, but when I did the other ones, because it dried out really quick, I just put a little less hardener, and I guess it was too less, and none of the patches that I did later after that dried up. So they were all sticky and never dried, and that's why I am having to remove all this. I looked online to figure out how to find out how to remove those. I didn't see any videos, so I thought I'll just try with acetone and see if it works. If it worked, and then that's why I wanted to make this video, so that it would help someone else. So I created this little booth in my garage, a paint booth out of plastics from Home Depot in the garden section, the yellow and the orange one down over there. Some of them are just trash bags, and I put a string on the top from here and there. That's my entrance. Here's my 240 front bumper. I had to go through all those efforts to remove the fillings because they were not cured correct, so I had to remove all of it, redo the filling and hardener, sand them in 3 different grades, 80, 180 and 320, and after that I had to wash it, and here it is. So I'm going to apply adhesion promoter since this is plastic, and then the primer plus the paint, and the crystal clear gloss in the end. So I read all the instructions. This one I can put in just 2 coats of it with few minutes in between the sprays. This one I am going to go for with 3 light coats, waiting 5 minutes each. Between this and this, I have to between the promoter and the paint, I have to wait for 10 minutes. After the 3 coats of the paint and primer is done, I have to wait, I think, an hour, and then I'll put 2 coats, first light coat and then second heavy coat. That's what the instruction says. Waiting for just 5 minutes, I think that's what they said, and then it will take an hour to cure, but 24 hours to completely cure. And then they were saying it will take around a week, because it's a plastic bumper, to get settled, for the paint to get settled. I put in the adhesion promoter, 2 coats of it, and then after that I waited for 5 minutes, and then I put in the first light coat of the paint and the primer. So here's the second coat. Leave it dark on that corner. I can still see the bundle, but this is the second coat. I put in a light coat, so that's why it's showing up, but the third coat should take care of it. Okay, so this is after the third coat. I applied 2 light coat, and this is the third heavy coat, and this is how it came out. I applied the first clear coat. It's a light coat, so it doesn't look that much different, but that's my first clear coat.
So I messed up. There are a lot of runs, so that's why I need to wet sand it. I'm using 1500 grit. So here's the runs that I had on the front bumpers. On this side you can see around the side marker, all the way to the other side. I already sanded this side, that's why you see those white residues, but this side is sanded, and I'm going to do the same to the front bumper.
This is what it looks like after applying the cutting compound. This is the back. The same in the front, so it looks about the same. Some of the deep cuts, they are visible. Same with on top, like this area. You can kind of see in the reflection, but if you look at it from far, it doesn't show. And I guess it's because I didn't do enough sanding with the final grit. And next I am going to polish it. These are the things that I use. So I just use the medium cut cleaner with the 7 scale mirror glaze number 1. What I did was I used a drill bit with velcro on it, and this is the bed I used. I think it is medium, it's not that hard. And then I put a little bit right here on the pad of the medium cut cleaner, like made 3 dabs on it, and just patted them like that, and then went through it with the drill, kind of like in this speed, and then did come back with covering the 50%, same all around. And so this is how it came out. Now the next thing that I'm going to do is ultra finishing polish, which is 4 on the scale. It's not visible right now, but that's 4, and it's 205, and this is supposed to be more finer, and it is also supposed to polish. So that's what I'm going to do. I am going to use the same pad. This is after applying the polish. So I did polish this side. It came out pretty good. Obviously you cannot hide the scratches, so you can kind of see the scratches right there, because it's just a polish, and it's pretty good. And this is where the polished side and then the cutting compound section meets, so that's the difference. So this is the polished section, this is just the cutting compound all the way there. So looking from this side, this is where the polished is. I can kind of roughly see myself, and that's more scratchy, and this has some depth, and that's kind of shallow. So it does work, and it comes out really shiny. And again, I'm using the same foam. It's kind of soft. I think it became soft from the first use, but it's kind of soft, and that's how I set up on the drill. I have speed set up to 2 and then 7.5.
This is after it has been polished. This is the front bumper. It's quite shiny. Looks good.
So this is what it looks like from the back. I haven't cleaned it yet, but it came out pretty good.